It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world.
There are many known ways to control the weather, and the best way to steer it seems to be with the NEXRAD Doppler Weather Radar Network.
The circular blue flashes seen in this video are frequency transmissions from the NEXRAD network of transmitter installations. The brighter the blue flash from a frequency transmission installation, the more pronounced and powerful the repelling effect on any air mass or storm in the vicinity will be. Where there are no blue flashes, there is no transmission, thus no repelling effect, thus no resistance for a migrating storm. Translation: a migrating storm will be hindered from moving toward frequency transmissions and will easily migrate in a direction with no transmissions. So again, I ask, was Hurricane Helene's path and behavior just an act of nature, or was it engineered?
Joe Biden makes another Freudian slip and says the government's response will be to increase the number and intensity of these extreme weather events.
Response is to increase the number and intensity of the extreme weather events and be where we're going to use all the resources available to the government to do it.
And many are now saying that this is exactly what they did with Milton, which is now expected to be catastrophic.
All right, everyone, welcome back. October 7th, 2024, and we are tracking Major Hurricane Milton. This thing has broken records overnight, and by the timing of this video, this thing is a Category 5 hurricane. Now, you're not going to believe what I'm already seeing taking place near the state of Florida, just like we saw with Helene, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. Let's go over some of the stats that we're seeing right now. So as we speak right now, we are 2 miles away from this being a Category 5 Hurricane Milton. And I got to say, my friends, I've been telling you this storm was going to be something we've never seen before, and that's exactly what's taken place. Rapid intensification within 24 hours from a Cat 1 to a Cat 5. That is likely the fastest a hurricane has ever rapidly intensified after forming in the Gulf and then continuing to stay in the Gulf. Look at this. Major hurricane all the way to landfall around 7 p.m. Wednesday. That may shift, give or take, but my friends, this is a horrible situation for the west coast of Florida and honestly the entire state of Florida. The geography of this state makes it very hard for anyone to be in a good spot when it comes to this. All right, and now, my friends, into the stuff you really want to know about. All right, let's take a look at Florida, and already it's looking like a disco party is going on. A lot of different radar activity going on. We got spikes here going all the way into the Gulf. Heavy lines up in this area, and then, of course, we have the one we saw with Hurricane Helene right here going off again. Now, of course, remember, these are just theories that we're talking about here, entertainment purposes only, because no way is weather modification real, right, everybody? Anyway, take a look down here near southern Florida. We got some right-angle clouds taking place. A weird situation here ahead of the hurricane, and I want you to think about this because ahead of Hurricane Helene, we had a very significant low pressure system up by North Carolina already sitting there that then interacted with actual Hurricane Helene, causing the record-breaking flooding. Now just look at this one more time. Take a look at what's going on up here, the disco party, and then look at these clouds down here making unnatural formations, right angles. We don't see right angles in nature. So a lot of the rain and moisture taking place in Florida is almost a precursor to the landfall of the hurricane. Again, the same situation took place with Hurricane Helene, days of rain in the Carolinas and Tennessee before that thing even made landfall. A little bit, you can get a much better idea of what I'm talking about. Look at that. We got one coming from all the way in North Carolina, streaking across South Carolina, Alabama, part of the Panhandle, through Mississippi, and into Louisiana. This is unreal. This is a very distinct radar beam here. And then look at the other ones fingering down like this. And if you continue to watch, you can see our little beams coming from Georgia, right down into Florida, exactly where Hurricane Helene made landfall. So again, my friends, whatever's going on here, we're just speculating. Again, we see that right angle down there form before it starts to blend away. Look at that. It looks like a box. Very, very odd. Again, my friends, just a very, very odd situation. A lot of different anomalies taking place ahead of the hurricane heading into this exact area. It is very similar to what we saw with Helene, and I do not think it's the last we're going to see of these anomalies. Keep in mind, we are already at a Cat 5 hurricane, so hopefully a little bit of weakening as it approaches Florida. If that takes place, it'll be a total miracle. All right, my friends, please share this video far and wide. Shout out to my cousin Mark in Florida. My dude, be safe. I'll be in touch with you in a little bit. And shout out to Canada. See you all later. Bye-bye.